The issue is, do not come to our country and tell us what to do. That's it. If you're here as a guest of this nation, you do not start rallying its people in opposition to the will of the voters and what the government is doing.
I mean, I really thought the point of America was, you know, freedom of speech was like a main value here.
Hello.
That I think that's why people come here. It's why I like living here, because I always felt that, hey, I can express an opinion, especially about U.S. foreign policy, and not have anything happen to me. So that's a right that only citizens have. And you think America should be a country where, if you are not literally an American citizen, if you express any opinion about U.S. foreign policy, I mean, and we both agree the opinion she expressed was pretty mild. It wasn't like a very inflammatory opinion, right? It was like, it's pretty mainstream political opinion to have. It conflicts with U.S. interests about the Suez Canal. I still don't really understand that point, but let's just say that it does.
It does.
That should be grounds for being forcibly removed from the country.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that a little ridiculous? Like, America's the home of the free, but if you're not a citizen and you say anything remotely against the American policy, you're fucking going to the gulag. Like, bro, how does that work out, right? These are the same people that are sending $1 million to a woman who called a child the N-word. Like, what are they fucking talking about?
And like, whether or not it's legally the case that we could do that, do you think it's good? You think it's good to have a country where things like that happen? You think a thriving country is one where people come into the country, they write an op-ed for the paper of the organization of which they're a member. She's paying tuition to go to this school, and she's working for the student newspaper or whatever. She's writing an op-ed. She's probably not employed there, but she's writing for the student newspaper, and that is grounds to be deported. And
it always was.
Dude, what a clown show. Right? Did you see, if you go back a minute, I'm going to go back 20 seconds because Tim has this smile on his face where you just know he's fucking lying. Look at him right there. Look at him. You know, he's a bullshit artist. He knows what he is arguing is absolute fucking ridiculous.
Let's say, do not speak out against our foreign policy.
Dude, what kind of nonsense is that? None of us in America want to live in a country where students from foreign countries come to America, but while you're going to a top university and studying politics and world affairs, you cannot speak out against the U.S. foreign policy? You can't even get a goddamn degree without analyzing U.S. foreign policy. Tim Pool, you fucking sweatshirt wearing, bald head hiding chud. Like, goddamn, you dumbass. People who go to college question U.S. foreign policy. It's like hard baked into getting a goddamn education, bro. What an idiot, dude. Dude, yeah, this is why Tim Pool doesn't have any hair, bro. Hair doesn't grow on heads that are fucking moronic.
So, okay, great. So America is a country where, if you, in your view, if you are a foreign national, you are here on a student visa, you've been invited to the country,
this like 4 times.
You should not
every time.
Okay. I just want to. It's fair. To me, Tim, it's a very baffling position.
Listen, you're arguing that I should call for illegal activities.
Let me
phrase it this way.
Sure.
My attitude is, Congress has passed a law. It was passed in the House and the Senate, signed by the president and upheld by the courts. This law states it is the purview of the Secretary of State to make the decisions as to whether or not these visas can stand for a variety of reasons. I say it is marginally good. Her opinion was mild, and I don't think it, I think it's silly to claim that she's adhering to Hamas because an anti-Israel position. My point is, for the government to assert its authority under the law as codified by Congress, the president, and the courts is marginally good. Marginally is, I said 60% maybe. If I was president, I wouldn't do it. But the idea that our country asserts its authority to say, you are guests in this country and we will make the determination whether you can stay or not, is a normal process. And to argue that the government should not assert its authority when it feels it should, I think is silly.
I'm still looking.
There's a world we want to live in, and then I'll put it this way, I think people have a right to keep and bear nuclear weapons.
Dude, he thinks people have a right to keep and bear nuclear weapons. Dude, what a fucking idiot.
Founding fathers were clear in their intent on the right to bear arms, which included privateers with grape shot. Now we've changed that and said only large corporations that the government approves of can have nuclear weapons.
Fucking tug.
Agreed. Nobody should have nuclear weapons. My point is that if you want to change the law, you have to do it through the constitutional process, and that adhering to that is typically a good thing.
See, here's the problem, though, Tim Pool, is students that go to college have a right to question American foreign policy, right? And if you don't, then you need to close the fucking colleges. You fucking idiot. Like, come on, bro. That's what young people in colleges do. You go to a good university, you are questioning the U.S. foreign policy. You are questioning everything. That's the whole point of going to fucking college, right? And now he wants to talk about like nuclear weapons and shit. What a fucking freak show, bro.
I don't know how we got on nuclear weapons.
It's a point about process of law.
Yeah, but
and saying the government has a right to do something. So if they choose to do it, okay. If you have a problem with it, then Congress should repeal those, specifically amend the INA to remove those provisions. It is completely legal under the United States at the will of the American people that this happen. You don't like that it's happening now, but this was the will of the voters and Congress, and it's been law for like 50 years.
dude, just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right.
Correct.
Right?
We should change it then. So my point is upholding the law is marginally good. Sometimes the law is bad, and that's why it's not always good. In this regard.
So wait, you're saying simply the fact that Marco Rubio exercised his legal authority to do something was good. It's like he had the legal authority to do it. He could have enforced this law as he saw it on anybody. He could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town and goes on stage and says, "Hey, you know what? I disagree with this or that." Or, "Hey, I just did shows in
Canada,
I just did what?
You're not from Canada.
No, but I just did shows in the UK and Amsterdam, and I made fun of UK politics, made fun of American politics.
You wouldn't dare make fun of Islam, though. Go to the UK and mock Islam. Do it.
Well, I don't have any jokes about Islam.
Why not? They got Pakistani grooming gangs raping little girls. Why won't you go to the UK?
What?
Dude, Pakistani, what is he talking about, bro? He is so fucking weird, dude. Well, I mean, Tim Pool, it can't be that big of a deal because you were just critical of it, right? You're talking about some fucking grooming gangs? Like, my God, dude, get off Daily Mail UK for like 5 minutes, bro.
Why won't you go to the UK and make jokes about Islam?
I don't think it's very funny. I don't have any jokes about it. I'm so confused. Dude.
Okay, let me help unconfuse you. Are there jokes that can be made about Islam? Yes or no?
Wait, I don't want to. I don't want to go to this particular rabbit hole.
Oh, no. You're terrified. You're a hypocrite.
What?
Are there jokes you can make about Islam? Muhammad banged a little girl, right?
I'm really baffled.
Come on. You're terrified of this subject. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
In the UK, you can be jailed for making jokes about Islam or even bring up the grooming gangs. There are people who go online and pointed out that a stabbing was carried out by a Muslim, and they got arrested for it. I'll bet you $1,000 you will not go to the UK and make a joke about any of that stuff. Because
dude, well, fucking UK has hate speech laws. If you were attacking a Muslim in the UK and you were like lying about them or denigrating them with hate speech, you could get arrested. If you were attacking somebody, there are hate speech laws in the UK that don't apply to what he's talking about, but there's no fucking thing about jokes. Tim Pool is way out of his rocker. I love how he goes from being critical of U.S. foreign policy, okay, to now he wants to talk about fucking grooming gangs from some weird tabloid story from the Daily Mail. So the UK hate speech laws prohibits expressing racial hatred through words or behavior. The act covers expressions of hatred based on race, religion, and sexual orientation and can lead to fines or imprisonments. So in other words, he couldn't go there and hate crimes, which are crime motivated by hostility or prejudice. So this isn't about a comedian telling jokes. This is about somebody going in there and engaging in fucking hate speech But it wouldn't matter. It's not just Islam. He could do this to people of color, to transgender people, to like whatever, Catholics, right? Any of this would fall under this law. But again, though, you'll notice what Tim Pool is doing is he is trying to set up this idea of Islamic people are violent and you're afraid to say anything about Islam. But obviously he's just going off himself on Islam, right? Because this is fucking clownery, bro.
Because you will not go to a foreign country and in violation of their laws, speak out against what they've said not to speak out against. Do it. I dare you.
See, this though, you ready? Is again, he is so far off the mark because Adam Conover can go to the UK and he can be critical of the UK foreign policy. He could be critical of their involvement in Gaza or whatever, and he's not going to jail. Okay, now Tim Pool is trying to do a little shell game here where now he's like, oh, you can't go to the UK and break hate speech laws. Okay, and like, okay, fine, but that has nothing to do with writing a fucking op-ed. Being critical of American foreign policy breaks no fucking laws, okay? And you went from nuclear weapons to grooming gangs. You got your incognito fucking browser open. You're rubbing your bald head on the screen. We don't know what the fuck you're doing, Tim Pool. His fucking expression says it all. Like, what are you even talking about, Tim?
$10,000. Cash in your pocket if you go to the UK and make a joke about Muhammad having a 12-year-old wife.
This we got here faster than I thought we would in this conversation. Where you're shouting at me about something I don't understand. I don't really understand how you would think it's incumbent upon me.
Do you think anybody watching this right now thinks you are confused by the notion that in the UK you go to jail for mocking Islam?
Dude, again, you don't go to jail for mocking Islam. That is a lie, okay? In the UK, if you engage in hate speech, attacking people, and it is a criminal variety of that, you can go to jail, okay? You can be punished for that. But it is not about Islam. It's about all race, religion, gender, etc., right? Dude, Tim, we get it. Most of the people watching your show are fucking moronic chuds who voted for a rapist. So they're going to believe whatever you say, right? They probably saw something on Facebook that has profoundly affected them. But yes, he is so disingenuous, man. He is like so fucking disingenuous.
I don't understand how we got onto you shouting at me about Islam specifically. I'd like to return to a point I was trying to make.
It's because you said people should be allowed to come to this country and speak out against it. And you said you're a comedian and you go to other countries, right? And you said you go to the UK. And I said, okay, if you go to the UK, speak out in violation of their laws and see what happens. And you said, I'm confused. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Will you go to Turkey? Will you go to Turkey and speak out against Islam?
I mean, if I have a joke to make, sure. I don't have a joke about those particular topics.
You would.
But dude, why is he talking about religion now? Right? Like, you see how he did that shift? Like, now he's trying to conflate being critical of U.S. foreign policy. Adam Conover will go to the UK and make jokes about British politics and foreign policy. Adam Conover, I don't know if you'd go to Turkey and make jokes about the government there. I don't know where they stand on the authoritarianism scale, okay? Right? I mean, you wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia and make jokes about the fucking Saudi Arabian government because you'd end up with fucking Jamal Khashoggi, right? You'd have a bone saw up your fucking ass, and Trump would be like getting another $2 billion covering that shit up. Dude, what the fuck is he talking about? Dude, yeah, you notice that? Now he jumps to the authoritarian countries. Well, guess what, Timmy Pool? You and your stupid ass bald head. We ain't an authoritarian country there, fucknuts. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Hey, man, I'm a free speech guy, right? I think that something that's nice about America is that we're a country that has that value, and that we don't generally think that you should be tossed into a van and kicked out of the country for expressing an opinion. I think that it is a change. I think it's a change in America to most people around the world.
Yeah, it's a huge change. Never in my lifetime have I seen anybody being threatened, a student at a higher level institution, at a top university, being deported or arrested or interned for writing an op-ed or being publicly critical of the U.S. government. This is the very definition of free speech, okay? The government, you can rail against the government no matter who you are, right? If you're from Ukraine and you're upset with the way they're handling Ukraine, you're allowed to fucking stand out on a pulpit and tell the U.S. government what's what.
To feel that, oh, wait, if I go to America and I express a mild opinion about their foreign policy in my own student paper, or maybe on a stage or maybe somewhere else, I could be, without any warning to me, accosted by 6 people on the street, thrown into a van, and taken out of the country.
Oh, come on,
right?
accosted.
Oh, let me finish.
Don't load the
I think that's a strain. I think that's a new idea for a lot of people, that America is that type of country. I think that Donald Trump's purpose is to turn America into that type of country.
That's right.
I think that that's bad. I think it makes the country smaller. I think it makes the country worse. I think it's a violation of most of the values that I grew up with as an American, and that's my view of what's happening in the country.
And not only that, if you engage in that type of behavior, you are going to discourage all of the greatest thinkers and the most revolutionary minds from around the world with ever coming here and being part of our intellectual community. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it, this is the reason why people come to American universities, is to have those rights, to be able to speak out and to be able to challenge world politics without fear of being put in jail. That's literally, like, we've opened our doors to that, to grab the best and the brightest and the most provocative minds from around the world, to bring them here to be a part of our fabric. And now Donald Trump is like saying, basically, you know what? All the people that are like challenging the world and all the people that have aspirations to take on the systems in the world and make the world a better place, we don't want you here, okay? We don't want you here unless you're like, yeah, America's so good. Oh, we love America. You got to be like those fucking Afrikaners from South Africa waving their little American flags and waiting for their credit card so they can buy 20 bags of pork rinds. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. We love America. We love Elon. We love white supremacy. Please give us some money, right? We're so oppressed. Like, come on, bro.
Hey, I don't like free speech for foreign nationals who are in the country who express mild opinions about other countries' foreign wars. Then that's your prerogative. It's a big difference between us that you don't like free speech in that way.
I mean, that's loaded language, right?
Dude, it's...
Yeah, all the language you're using is pretty loaded.
Dude, that's loaded language. But talking about nuclear weapons and grooming gangs, right? And you know what I mean? It's not loaded. Like, dude, Tim, dude, I need to get on this guy's show. He is the most disingenuous, like, arguer out there. He is such a, what a clown show.
You keep using adjectives to describe things, to diminish one thing while exacerbate or exaggerate something else.
I do use the English language to express my thoughts and opinions. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's straw manning. It's not a legitimate attack of the ideas, right? So accosted on the street. Come on. She was arrested. Okay. She was arrested by a relatively large group of men compared to what a normal arrest would require, which I think they didn't need to do. And
accosted is a problem, but grooming gangs is not. Okay, noted, Tim. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.